What is going on? Welcome to another podcast episode. And in this episode, I'm going to go over how to get out of a rut, how to get yourself out of a rut and back into the domination mode that you want to be in. This video is going to be a little bit longer, at least that's what I plan on doing. I haven't really done any videos where I speak for an extended period of time, and in this one I want to achieve that because I think it's very important to provide more value, help you guys out more, and also just get my thoughts out there. So I want to start with a story first. Over the last few months, I myself have been stuck in a rut. And when I say a rut, I mean there were days where it was hard for me to brush my teeth. For me, I struggled with my diet a lot, and I noticed it got really bad, especially at the start of June. I was having cheat days, like every single day for 4 or 5 days at a period. I was so dejected that it was hard for me to brush my teeth at night. I was scrolling on my phone until 10 p.m. I remember there were even some nights in May where I was like literally playing video games until 11 p.m., which is just not who I am. Like, I'm not someone who just eats junk food, scrolls on their phone, plays video games. And I was asking myself, like, what is going on? What is causing me to be in this rut, this mental, like, depressive state? I went to a therapist, had a couple sessions. That really didn't change anything. I tried, like, jumping on 75 hard. I tried changing my non-negotiables. I tried dropping some client sessions to different days. Nothing worked. Like, the beginning of June, I was just struggling with my diet. I was struggling with productivity. I was just scrolling, eating junk food, not hitting workouts. I was insecure about how I looked. Like, for the first time in a year, I wore, like, baggy clothes. Like, I didn't feel comfortable in a t-shirt. And I was like, man, what is going on? And it wasn't even until the start of July, so literally 13 days ago, that things started to change for me. And the big thing I realized was when you're stuck in a rut, you cannot go back to your old baseline. And it sucks because the reason I was stuck so long in this rut is because I was having the mentality that I could go back to grinding on my business, grinding in the gym, grinding in my diet, being productive with every hour. And I would try. Like, I would mess up on my diet. I remember there was a day where from like 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. I just detached. I watched TV. I ate all this junk food. Like, I DoorDashed. I ate crackers. And like, I don't have junk food in my apartment. So it's like, I just binged on healthy food. And I was just like, what am I doing? I kept living in that cycle because every single morning I was just like, man, today is the start of 75 hard again. Like, today is the day I get back on my non-negotiables. And I would never make it through the day because I expected the discipline that I didn't have in that moment that I used to have. And this discipline, this expectation, always left me feeling frustrated, more angry, and then I would again cheat on my diet, scroll on YouTube, do all these things that just don't benefit me. And it wasn't until the start of July that things changed, and what changed for me was letting go a little bit of my expectations, letting myself down in some areas to hold myself accountable in others. So, for example, as a coach, as a fitness trainer, like, I need to be in shape. Like, it's kind of my job to look good, feel good, and be strong, capable, functional. So, start of July, I was like, I'm doing 75 hard again. 75 hard is a mental toughness program that I know is below my baseline. Now, for other people, it probably isn't, but for me, I know it is. And I would do the workouts. I did the workouts. I was on my meal plan. I still was scrolling, like, the start of July. And it didn't change overnight in the sense of my discipline, my diligence, and feeling like I was out of this rut. Not at all. But it was realizing that my baseline is different now. And what I had to do is I had to edit and cut out some things. Like, I probably can't work 7 hours on my business right now. I probably can't study for an hour. I probably can't read for another hour. Like, I just can't do that. So I had to cut those out. Like, whatever clients I got today, I got. Whatever leads I have to follow up with, I'll follow up with. And if that's 4 hours, if that's 3 hours, if it's 2 hours, I'm just going to do it, and that's it. And then I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to get my walk in, my run in, and I'm going to eat clean, right? I got to read, whatever. Most days, like, I still had a ton left to do. But by changing my expectations, I was proud of myself. Like, the day was successful because I did 75 hard. And for you, if you're stuck in a rut, maybe it's not like get up, go to the gym, eat a clean breakfast, go working, go studying, whatever it is. Maybe it's just like, yo, yesterday I didn't do what I needed to. It was hard for me to brush my teeth. Maybe today I can just get up, brush my teeth, do some mouthwash, and go for a walk, right? Whatever your baseline is right now, add 1% to it. And for high achievers, it's hard to do. Like, it's hard to go from killing it every second of the day and maybe having like 1 or 2 hours where you're just kind of off it, and then going to like every hour you're off it, especially when you run your own business. Like, dude, nobody's holding a gun to my head telling me I have to work, right? Like, I show up for my clients. I kind of have an open schedule most of the time, and with adding more clients, obviously it's going to fill up, but I'm making money by working for myself. And a lot of times it's easy to let yourself off the hook. It's easy to just be like, man, I don't have a ton of clients today. I can just do whatever. But that thinking over the long period of time will cause you to lose your business, right? Like, I spent the last year building this up, and if I thought that way, I would lose it. I would have to go get a job. I would have to find a way to make money in the meantime before I would build it up again. So I think for business owners, it's really hard because it's like nobody's holding your feet to the flame, and you kind of have to create a false situation or just a scenario in your head that could be true if you kept living like this. Like, if you keep living like this, you will lose your business. For me, if I lost 50% of my business, that's really bad. Like, I can no longer provide for myself. I would kind of be struggling, and that's just not something I can't afford. So it's like, well, if I did this for 3 months on end, I would lose 50% of my business. So it's like I'm 90 days away from basically failing. And I think that reframe helped me get back in the game in the sense of do 1% more with clients, do 1% more with leads. And as a business owner, like, understanding you can lose it all if you stop. And I had to realize that too with my fitness. Like, just because you're in shape does not mean you can eat like an asshole. You can't just like eat whatever you want and stay that way. Like, the people who are in shape, who you see having cheat days, I guarantee you, it's the first time they've had them in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And when I was cheating on my diet 3-4 times a week in June, like, I did look kind of crappy. Like, I remember I took a video of myself where I was flexing, and I was like, yo, this is bad. I was like, this is not good. And I realized it's not about, where you are, where you've built yourself. It's about where you're going with your current action. So being able to realize and recognize when you are in a rut, it's very important to not try to go back to your old baseline, because you're just going to kind of cause this like mental yo-yo of feeling like a failure, messing up on what you don't want to mess up on, whether that's cheating on your diet, scrolling, like lusting, whatever it would be, the big three, right? Don't make that baseline to where it used to be, because if you do, you're going to be mad at yourself when you don't hit it, and you could cause yourself to self-sabotage because you're frustrated with yourself. You're angry because you could have been better, but you didn't. So it's very important to reassess and create a new baseline. And it's hard for high performers to do that because they know they can do more, but in this rut, you have to give yourself grace in the sense of letting go of where you used to be in order to understand you're not there right now. You're going to build up past there, but you're not going to build up past there if you keep going through the cycle. You need to get a small win, and small wins stack momentum. So for me, being able to win some of that area back was prioritizing my fitness, prioritizing the reading, and letting go of kind of the scrolling. Like, I am personally okay with scrolling more like on my phone than if I was like not scrolling and I was cheating on my diet. That's just me personally. Like, I would much rather look good, be fit, physically lean, jacked, able to run 10 miles on end, and sacrifice some of my scrolling rather than not scrolling and kind of being out of shape. Like, that's something I'm willing to sacrifice. And for you, it might be different. I think for me, I'm just in a stage of my life where I really care about how I look physically. Like, maybe that's some kind of insecurity that I have to work through, in the sense of maybe I shouldn't care about how I look so much. Maybe I shouldn't care about how my arms look or how my chest looks. But I think it's important for me because it's part of my business, and it's also been part of my life. And I notice it makes me feel better. It makes me operate better. And whenever I'm lean, like whenever I can see my abs and I have shoulder veins, it's like I have more confidence and I have a better view of life. So I am willing to trade off scrolling for how I look. That's what I sacrificed. So when I started in June or July this month, I was just like, you know what, man, I don't care if I scroll for 5 hours. I'm just going to make sure I don't cheat on my diet. I'm not going to miss my workouts. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to get it done. And then after like 5 days of that, I added one more step, like 1 more %. So being able to stay on track with that, I added in like bedtime, morning wake up time. And that helped me build more of a structure to where I don't go on my phone in the morning and at night. And I'm not perfect right now. Like, we're 13 days in and I'm still struggling with scrolling. I'll be straight up, like, I'm still struggling with scrolling. That's my biggest vice right now. But I've been able to really change how things have been going, like in my fitness, in my health, in my business, just by changing that 1% and having that mentality about everything. Because 1% over the course of a year is 365%, which is 36 and a half times better than who you were when you started. Like, you lap yourself 36 times. Think about that. That's impressive. So you need to ask yourself, like, what do I need to do that's 1% better today? Maybe yesterday, like, it was horrible, dude. Like, you came back from work, you DoorDashed, you scrolled, you watched Love Island. You watched a dumb show. Like, what can you do differently today? Maybe don't be an asshole. Don't DoorDash. Like, be 1% better, make a home cooked meal. And if that's not 1% for you, then maybe it's like, all right, instead of watching 3 hours of Love Island, I'm going to watch an hour and a half. And it sounds like it sounds like, you're not doing anything. And a lot of people just want to just cut it off. And I completely agree. Like, when there's something horrible for you, get it out of your life, cut it off. But also at the same time, if you know you're operating right now and you're just burnt out, you're tired, it's not wise to just cut it out, because you're going to just go back to it. You're going to burn out on the schedule in a day because it's not where you can be, and you're going to go back to it. And when you go back to it, it's going to be worse. How do I know this? Because I was living in it, right? Like, I would have a cheat day. Then I'd have 5 non-negotiables done. 1, right? 5 days of winning. Then it was like 3 days of cheating. And I was like, holy crap. Like, what did I just do? This is worse than my worst day. I had 3 of them in a row. And then I'd be like, all right, back on it. 4 days of non-negotiables. 5 cheating on my diet and scrolling. It's like, holy crap. Like, I literally just wasted this month. And that mentality for me was able to just, like, let go a little bit. Let go of where I used to be and just be able to accept that maybe I'm not there right now and I'm going to have to get back there. For me, I noticed that that's like where everything changed. And maybe for you, that's where everything will change too. Like, stop thinking in terms of how can I become that version of me 2 months ago? That version of me that was like last year who was just killing it. Like, you'll get there, dude. But you forget, like, that version of you last year, it took them 7 months to build into it, right? Like, when I look back and I was like, holy crap, I look so good in March, I had been locked in for 12 months. No, like 8 months of just being locked in and dialed. And before then, I looked good too. And I got undialed, right? So being able to understand, like, okay, maybe I don't look as lean as I did in March. Instead of thinking, man, I need to get right back there, understand, like, dude, a month of work can erase, or a month of bad work can erase 7 months of good work. So you have to understand, like, I'm not probably there right now. And just because it was in March and now it's May does not mean you can get back there in a month. It means it's probably going to be 7 months. And you have to be all right with sacrificing the next 7 months to get there. But you can't get there by going right back to the best version of you before you got in this rut, right? You have to start at where you know you can do. Just be on your edge and build from there, because I almost guarantee you, you will be better than how you were in March or whatever that month was for you. For me, it was March, right? You'll get better. You'll see more growth, because our life is kind of like a mountain peak, where if you've ever looked at, example, Pikes Peak, mountain peak in Colorado, I mean, it goes up, then it comes down a little bit. It goes up, comes down a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just goes straight up, right? It's just boom, massive 14,000 peak above Colorado Springs. And even some mountains around it, like Cheyenne Mountain, it's like there are these other peaks that are, coming up, going down, coming up, going down, and all of a sudden you just reach it. You just hit this mountaintop. That's kind of how your life is, dude. Like, maybe you're right here, right? And you're coming down. Now you're here. You're not all the way down the ground. You're not where you started. You're further than where you started, but you're not at your peak. So you got to understand this. To prevent it from going down to this, you have to establish a baseline of what you can do and become 1% better every day. And eventually, you'll be higher than where you were before. And I'm going to guarantee you this, like, your life, it does have seasons. This is something I hate. Like, I honestly don't like accepting for myself in the sense of, like, seasons, because I used to always think, like, that was a dumb mentality, like a wimp mentality. Like, you just got to work harder, bro. Like, what are you talking about? And I completely agree. Like, if you're not doing it all you can, start there. Do all you can. Sometimes your all is not as good as it used to be. But understand, when we talk about seasons, it doesn't mean you're just less than. It doesn't mean that you're just some asshole eating whatever you want, binging Netflix shows and watching corn. No. When we talk about seasons, it just means that things will get harder. Things are going to be harder for you. Like, for example, my dad, unfortunately, hasn't had great health. He hasn't been a great dad to me. And last year, when I started this business, or a year and a half ago, he told me he had cancer. And that version of me was in a dip. It caused me to just crash down. And I was always looking at back at my old peak, like, why am I so much worse? My dad told me he has cancer. Why can't I just be stoic? Like, I didn't understand that in this season, things are going to be harder. And I was trying to push back to where I used to be during 75 hard, finishing high school early, building up like a lawn care business to 5 figures at 17, all these amazing things. Why am I down here? It's because, like, I was in a harder season. Like, I was building up a new business. Wasn't seeing the fruit yet. Dad tells me he has cancer. Me and Dad don't have a great relationship. Okay, it's going to be a harder season. So instead of trying to do 75 hard, all these things that I was doing back here, instead I needed to ask myself, like, what can I do now? What can I do now to fix some of this mental turmoil going on? And that's what I asked myself in the beginning of July. Like, I had honestly wasted my June. And on paper, things were great. Like, I just made my first... In June, I made something that, like, most people work 4 years for a degree, get a job, climb a little bit, then they get it. Like, it was an amount of money that I was like, holy crap, like, this is actually insane. I can provide for myself. I can live a great life with this, and it's continually going up. But it wasn't good in the terms of fitness, family, my relationship with God. Like, everything was just broken. And when July came, I just asked myself, what is my baseline? Like, what can I not do? What can I do? And I just had to be honest with myself. And it's hard. Like, it's hard being honest with yourself when you know you're not where you used to be. But it's needed and necessary to grow to a place you've never been. Being honest with yourself, being real with yourself is the breakthrough to growing in your life. And if you're not real and honest, you will always be stuck in a rut. You will always be stuck chasing your past self and never actually seeing where you could go. And that's what I was experiencing in June, man. Like, not being able to grow, being stuck in these cheat day cycles. And, I'll be honest, like, I was struggling a lot with lust. And it's something that I just despise. I hate my lust. I hate it, like, to the point of I want to be disgusted with it. And I was messing up with it every single morning. And I was like praying to God, like, dude, what is going on? I used to be able to do, like, not do this stuff for like every 2 weeks. And now I'm just struggling. And it's being able to understand your edge, dude. You have to understand your edge. You have to be willing to admit when you're not where you used to be, because that gives you the freedom to go somewhere you've never been. And we're 13 days in, right? I could be lying on my butt right now. I could just be speaking all this gibberish, and it may not mean anything. Maybe I fail 75 hard again. Maybe I go into a bigger rut that I've never been in before. But so far, it's not really panning out that way. And so far, I have a belief in myself that I am acting at just beyond my edge to push myself a little bit, but nothing to where I can't do it. And I'm seeing growth. I'm seeing things change in my life. And I'm really, really proud of my actions so far. And I do believe, like, it's much better to just try. It's much better to just start again. It's much better to just shoot. And even if you miss, even if you don't make it, you can always start again. So we're 13 days in, I'm 12 days on 75 hard. I've been posting every day on social media again. I've been following up with my leads. Who knows? Maybe I get to day 40, 50, and I mess up. I'm not accepting that I will, because I'm taking it day by day. And I think the difference here is being able to recognize my limit every day, being able to analyze what I can and can't do, and then also being able to understand my baseline is this, right? I can operate like this for 75 days. I know I can, because it's just one day after the next. I would just encourage you to ask yourself that question. What is my baseline right now? If you've been stuck in a rut, dude, like, be honest with yourself. Be so honest. Like, write out what you've been doing. Don't hide it. Like, be for real, bro. You've been cheating on, you've been having the pizza. You've been watching corn. You've been scrolling and watching Instagram models. Whatever it is, own up to it, because you're not going to change if you don't. No one changes in the dark. And if you've been living misaligned, you have to be honest with it. Because if you're not, you're never going to know where you need to change. Like, for me, I need to change my diet. I need to change my scrolling. I need to change this lust. I need to be a more godly man. I need to be a more productive man. I need to be a man that holds himself to the fire sometimes and actually is capable for a future family, is capable for a business with employees. I need to become that. And man, I've been working for 14 months. Like, all right, we got to keep going. We got to get some more work under us, because on this pace, I'm not liking where we're at. Be honest. You're 53, you're still out of shape. Be honest. What's been going on for you to be like this? What have you not been honest with? And then, once you are honest with yourself, where can I improve today? What can I do differently? And that allows you to have this freedom, because you give yourself the power again. When you see what's in your control, you all of a sudden focus on that. And you no longer focus on what isn't in your power. The things that happen to you, the season you might be in, you focus on what you can do. And that power is unmatched to anything else. Because when you ask yourself, what can I do? You are always in a cycle of being better. You're always in a cycle of improving your life and bettering yourself. And I would just encourage that, because that will allow you to grow. It will allow you to be humble. It will drop your ego. It will drop who you think you are. And it will bring you to who you can be. See, we get mad at ourselves because we've had those days where we've been so productive. And when others tell us to have grace or just be a little bit more, less restrictive, we're angry because it's like, well, I know I can do this. Why can't I? And it's simply because what you can do is not what you can do every day. What you could do is not what you can do now. And you have to ask yourself, like, I can do that, and I will get there, and I'll get even further than that. But right now, today, it's going to be less than that. And I'm all right. I'm all right with that, because tomorrow will be a little bit better. So today, what can I do differently than yesterday to be 1% better? And that 1% stacks. It stacks. It stacks. And it's so much better than what you think your limit is. Because eventually, stacking 1%, growing 1%, chipping away over the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years, you look back. You might be in a season where it's a little bit harder, but you're practicing the ability to focus on what you can. You look back and you see all of a sudden your old idea of a perfect day, your old idea of what you could do, is now something you do in the first 4 hours. And that's the truth. But you need to understand it doesn't get there by literally changing everything overnight. It gets there by stacking small wins, by stacking the things that seem so dumb. Like, what do you mean brushing my teeth is important? Like, what do you mean making my bed matters? Like, it does. You didn't make your bed today, do it tomorrow. You didn't brush your teeth, like, to the extent you could have, be a little bit better than that. Do a little bit more. And when you win, celebrate that win. As dumb as it seems, bro, like, why am I going to congratulate myself for reading 10 pages of the book? I should do this twice a day, right? I should be reading 20 pages. Just congratulate it, dude. Be proud of yourself because you beat yesterday. And if you do that again tomorrow, you're stacking some wins. You're getting some more wins under your belt. Look at you. You're going from a little crawl to a little walk to a little jog. Soon you'll be sprinting. But understand, it takes 7 months. And a month of kind of cursing yourself, being in a rut, it does erase some work. But it doesn't mean you can't get back there. It means you can get back there and even further if you're willing to let go of where you used to be and hold on to where you could go. And hold on to who you can become through the work every single day. If this video helped you, please drop a like, subscribe for more, because here at Know Frank, I am helping people become the person they have always wanted to become through God's grace. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next time, get out there and go crush the day.